What goes on, guys? We're back here again with yet another video, and today we're going to be counting down my top 10 most wanted He-Man, Masters of the Universe, Revelations, Masterverse figures. Now, I really like this line. I think it was my favorite line of the year that was new, because technically DC Multiverse came out like almost 2 years ago at this point, so I'm not counting that. Marvel Legends been around forever. So out of new lines, I might have to say that Masterverse was my favorite. Jurassic Park Amber Collection was really good, but I don't recall when the first figure came out. I think that came out a couple years ago too. So I know that Revelation started this year, and I was in love with it, and I've gotten all the figures thus far, except Faker, because I don't like that design for Faker. Maybe eventually I'll pick him up just to have Faker on the shelf, but I want like the blue, red hair Faker, but I love the Masterverse. I think it was awesome. And this video might not get a ton of views because I know Masterverse isn't universally the most loved line for Masters of the Universe, but I'm going to go ahead and make it anyway because I really like it, and I'd like to know what you guys think if you are fans of the Masterverse line. But without further ado, in hopes of keeping this video under 20 minutes, let's get started. So, as normal, I have 3 honorable mentions, and what I did for these 3 honorable mentions, considering that I want every character they could possibly do for Revelation, I picked alternate characters that I just want to see in the Masterverse line. Maybe not Revelations, but in the Masterverse line. So, starting off, I would love to see She-Ra. Now, obviously, she's got her own show. They're kind of connected, but kind of not. And I would just like to see a Masterverse interpretation of She-Ra. 7-inch scale, pinless, double-jointed figure of She-Ra. I think they've mentioned that she is coming, but I want to see it now. I would love to see a She-Ra. I think that a lot of people would really enjoy that. Just not that new cartoon. Do like the older one, or just take like a collected interpretation of She-Ra, maybe a comic book version. I would love to see what they would do with it, and I think that they would do a really good job. I really like their female figures. They do a really good job on the female figures. So She-Ra would be awesome to get. Going after that, I'm going to take a page out of the Origins line book and say that I would love to see a Sun Man. Now, I know he's kind of his own thing too. I know he's like connected, but not. So I consider him like his own universe character, similar to how I do with She-Ra, like connected, but could be his own thing and is his own thing. Similar to like how Turtles go into DC every now and then. Like, yeah, I guess technically they're part of that universe, and if you want to call that canon and shit, but they are their own thing as well. So I would love to see a Sun Man. I think his design would be awesome in the Masterverse. Even just reuse like the He-Man body, do his skin tone, his overlay, his weird wing things, and a brand new head. Boom, done. Would love to see a Sun Man. I think that would be super sick to get. Like, because I like all those old folklore characters, like all those like old superheroes or superheroes that kind of came into a line but weren't part of it originally, and this, that. Like, I just love superheroes, you know, and seeing Sun Man would be awesome. So definitely I hope they do a Sun Man. And then last but not least, definitely not least, this is a stretch, and it's not really Masters of the Universe, but it's a very similar property, and they've had crossovers. Thundercats. I would love to see Mattel do a line of Thundercats figures like this Masterverse line. I am not the biggest Thundercats fan by any measure of perception at all, but I want to go and watch the whole show. That's a hard thing to get into. I've seen Masters of the Universe, like the original like Playmation show. Like, I've seen that. Is it Playmation? I think so. But I've seen that, and I loved Revelation, believe it or not. The first season was okay, but the second one was really good and made up for it. And I enjoy just reading about He-Man in general, and that's what I want to do with Thundercats. I want to get into it. I know it's before my time, and it's going to be corny as shit, but I like that. So give us a line of Thundercats figures. I know that if they were to do that, I would get inspired to watch the whole show and be done the show before the first wave hits. I think it would be awesome to see a Thundercats line in this style. Like, give us Lino, Panther, She-Ra, like a big Thunder Tank, kind of like Super 7 did. That'd be sick. So Thundercats. Please, that would be really cool in the Masterverse style. I mean, I think an animated show would be cool for Thundercats, similar to how Revelations came back. Do one with Thundercats. I think a lot of people would like that. I would like to watch that. So, boom. Those are my honorable mentions. But without further ado, let's hop into this top 10. So, starting off at the bottom, I kind of did like characters that weren't necessarily in it a lot, but I want to, still mention them. So, Buzz Off. Yes, please. I would love Buzz Off. He was in, like, the final battle, like, having all the bee people, like, they started coming out, and it was, Buzz Off would be sick. He could technically be an army builder if they really wanted to. I don't really care about having an army of the bee people, but I would love to see a Buzz Off. I think that would be really, really cool. Like, I would love to see, like, translucent wings on the back. Like, you could probably reuse a lot of parts. You would probably need a new upper torso, obviously new wings, hands, head, overlays. But for the most part, I mean, this line lends itself to reuse a lot, which is not a problem for me. So Buzz Off would be really, really cool to see. I kind of would like a Stratos if Buzz Off came, because they kind of like came together. But I didn't put Stratos on the list. But Buzz Off would be super cool. Moving up to the next one, I think it should be a 2-pack, so I guess I kind of cheat in here. But Pig Boy and Goat Man, they were in the show surprisingly a lot, and they had some funny lines. Like I think Andre called them like C-list characters, and they were like, we can handle it. Like, no, it was funny. And I think a 2-pack of them for like $30-$40 would be cool, because Pig Boy's really tiny and Goat Man's like really big, so they kind of like balance it out between the two of them. And I think that would make really good like figures. I think they could reuse a lot of Skelegod for Goat Man. I think might be a little too big, but honestly I think they can make it work, and I wouldn't mind if they reuse that body, because it's not huge. So I don't know, who knows, but yeah, I would really like to see a Pig Boy and Goat Man. That would be really, really cool. I think they would be very dynamic figures too, like very action figure friendly. I think they would look cool on the shelf. So, a 2-pack of them though. Now, I was worried that my next character would not be in the show, because he's one of my favorite characters from Masters of the Universe. But right at the end, in the final episode, the final battle, He-Man's mom comes and he's like, "I'm dropping the bomb. We need my boy Ramman." That would be so awesome. I don't know how they would do it. Like, I don't think you would have head articulation. It might just be like a swivel, but I don't care. It's Ramman. I think it would be really, really awesome to get like a chunkier build, like a shorter build, and put Ramman on the shelf. Like, if they did like like a ball joint at the belt, that would be really, really cool. Ramman is very different from everybody else, and he would have to be his own sculpted figure, but Masterverse has shown that while they like to use a lot of reuse, they don't have problems making brand new molds for different characters. Like, they've never used Skelegod again, and they've never used Stinkor again as of now. I mean, Beastman and Stinkor kind of held parts together, but, I don't really see them being able to reuse those. So, let's go ahead. I mean, Stinkor could probably be reused for a Stratos figure. But anyway, getting off topic here. I would love to see a Ramman. That would be super, super cool. Maybe like have him like have the ability to crunch up like a ball. I don't know. Ramman, please. Ramman would be awesome. Moving up again into the villains. I got a couple villains. I got 2 villains here. They're not, one after the other though. So for number 7, I lied. 7. Clawful. Clawful would be awesome. He actually was in the show a lot more than I thought he was going to be. Obviously not a lot, but more than like, say, Mossman. But we got a Mossman figure, and Mossman was cool, but, Clawful would be cooler. A giant, like, claw. Again, his body could be reused. He would just need new arms, different overlay, and different head, but they could do it, and the head would be cool with, like, the teeth coming out. The bright red would be awesome. The claw could be articulated. Really, really, really would love to see a Clawful. I think that would be so... I love these wacky, stupid villains with the stupid, corny names. It would be so cool. Clawful needs to happen. I would love a Clawful. And keeping with the villains at number 6, my favorite villain, like, just out of design purely... Whiplash. He wasn't really in the second season, but he was in the first one quite a bit. And I would love to see a Whiplash and give him like a big bendy tail. I have a thing for characters with tails. I don't know why, but Whiplash would be awesome. The bright greens would look really, really nice. The armor plates on the back, but give us a bendy tail or like maybe interchangeable tails or something like that. But man, that would be so sick to see. I would love to see a Whiplash. He might have to be a deluxe, but I wouldn't mind. I would get it. I would get it anyway. Whiplash. I'm actually surprised we didn't get a Whiplash. Probably because of the tail. Because I think a lot of the body, again, could be reused. Maybe just switch parts here and there. But his body would have to be different to accommodate for the tail. So, I don't know. But Whiplash with a big, long tail, please. Very, very awesome. Very something. Like, very much something I want to see. Whiplash was my favorite based off of design alone. Like, I don't care about the character very much, but I just love Whiplash as a design character. He's just awesome. So, Whiplash, please. Going up into a hero, kinda, King Randor. I think he will come eventually because he's very easy to make, so to speak, because of all the reuse potential. But King Randor would be really nice to have on the shelf. Give him his big sword. Now, one thing I want to mention with King Randor, it would be really awesome if they made Stridor to go with him. I would love to have him in the back of the shelf. Like, I just picture, like, all these figures in the shelf, and I would love to see him in the back, like, standing on Stridor. That would be, or, like, sitting on Stridor. That would be really, really awesome. I have a couple other, like, mentions that I want to do. But, you know, I would love to see King Randor and Stridor, like, you know, together. I think that would be really, really cool. And I think a Stridor would be cool in general. Like, I think a deluxe thing. They haven't done any more vehicle-type character things, which we'll get to in a second. But, yeah, definitely give us a King Randor and Stridor. But if I had to pick out of the two, just give us a King Randor. I think he'll come eventually because of just how easy he is to do. But King Randor would be really, really cool. Number 4 is what I'm talking about with the vehicle things. And I'm so surprised they didn't do this. Panther. They have the whole mold already. Maybe a different head, obviously different armor, but like for the most part, that is a really easy redo with like barely any paint on it. You know, just the face and the claws, maybe the tip of the tail. But man, they really are dropping the ball and not giving us a Panther. I'm actually really tempted to make a custom Panther because of how easy he would be. But I shouldn't have to do that. I don't want to have to do that, you know? I don't know. I would love to see a Panther. Unfortunately, spoilers alert, my boy dies at the end. They turn him into, I think Evelyn turned him into a rock and then broke him. And Skeletor was like, you'll pay for that. Like, he was not happy about that. I wouldn't be neither. He killed his cat, bro. I mean, I'm not a cat person. Kind of like Evelyn said. She's like, I've never been much of a cat person. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why they're not doing it. But I would really, really like to see a Panther. I love that Battle Cat. I was in my top 10 figures of the year so far video. I don't know if he's going to be in it now. A lot of good shit has come out thus far or since then. But, you know, it was a really good figure nonetheless. So, yeah, I would love to get a Panther. Please. I mean, maybe they're scared to do it because of how many Battle Cats are sitting on the shelves. I mean, every Walmart and Target I go to, Battle Cat is there. And that could be a problem. But I think Panther would be really, really cool to see for us collectors. So, moving up to number 3, a character that I know is probably going to be coming, and I'm a little surprised that isn't here already because of how much reuse that he has. He would literally just need a new hand and a new head. Clamp Champ. You know, him and Fisto were in the whole video, the whole episode, like pretty much the same amount. And spoilers again for them too. You know, they die at the end as well because they get turned into like the zombie things. Fisto has his iconic line, I'd like to fist him. Like, what? Who thought that was a good idea to put in the show? But Clamp Champ was there just as much. And I would love to see a Clamp Champ. He's such a dumb character. I mean, most of these characters are dumb. He's just a dude with a claw on his hand. And not like a Clawful type claw. Like, just like a claw machine, you know? And it's just like, come on now. Who thought that was a cool idea? But it is. I love it. So, and he has like the same overlay as Fisto. It would just need to, you know, change the colors, give him a different hand and a different head, and boom, you have Clamp Champ. I think it would be as simple as that, and it would be cool if like the claw like open and close. I mean, I'm sure they would definitely do that if they were to make that, but yeah, Clamp Champ needs to come. I don't know why he did not already, but hopefully he does because it would be just really easy to do. So Clamp Champ. Um, Moving up to my top two, it was really hard to pick between these two because one's more significant, but one would be a cooler toy. So I put the number two as the one that would be a cooler toy with the character Roboto. I'm really surprised we didn't see him. I mean, he'd probably be a difficult figure to make because of like translucent pieces and things like that. But if they were to do it correctly, that would be dope. That would look really, really awesome. And I think like a lot of people would like to see that. Like give it to like overlay, like even if he has a little bit less articulation, like all the gears and stuff in his body with a clear piece over it, and then have that articulate. Man, that would be super, super cool. I have a thing for like translucent plastic on figures, and I think Roboto would lend himself very good to that. You know, if you want like to pack in like the cloak that he kind of wears, I would definitely take that shit off immediately. But you know, Roboto was in the first season a lot, like a decent amount. So I'm surprised they didn't do him. But you know, Roboto would be really, really cool to see. Just some other things I'd like to mention. Web Store would be really cool. He was in the show. It would be cool if we got like a big spider accessory. And honestly, I think they should do a redo of Savage He-Man on the Skelegod body. I don't know why they didn't use the Skelegod body. And then pack it with Orcos still. I think the Skelegod body would have been much better. That Savage He-Man does not look like it does from the show at all in the head sculpt or the body. So I think Skelegod body would look a lot cooler for Savage He-Man. Just give him different feet and hands and a different tunic and a different head. Boom, Savage He-Man. I think that would be cool to see. But by far, the number one character that needs to be made is the Sorceress. How is she not made? Like, seriously, how is she not made? She's one of the most predominant characters in the show, and I just don't get how they could make this line and not even, like, announce that she's coming, you know? A lot of other figures are coming, you know, like Grayskull's coming, Merman, Triclops, and Trapjaw, which are awesome to see. I'm so happy that they are coming. But how is the Sorceress not one of those? I think she could reuse a lot from Evil Lyn. Obviously, she would need some new sculpting, but who cares? Do it. Do it deluxe and give it a bendy wire in the cape, I guess? I don't know. Give us an unmasked head. Boom. I would eat that shit up. I would love a Sorceress. She would be amazing to see. The colors would look great. And she's just a predominant character, and one that I think a lot of people would really like in the line. So Sorceress is definitely my number one. I mean, I could go on and on and on about characters that weren't even in the show that I would like to see. Like a Mosquito would be cool, a Hordak would be awesome, but I don't know where this line's going to go. So hopefully we get all these characters, but for right now, I just need the characters that I said in this video. But with that being said, I believe that is all I have for today. So if you have not already, do yourself and me a favor and like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Do me a favor. Let me know what Masterverse figures you would like to see, whether or not they were in Revelation or not. Let me know what characters you'd like to see in the Masterverse line, because I think they got a very unique style. This is the line of Masterverse, or He-Man and the Masters of the Universe figures I've been waiting for. So to get this kind of Motu line is awesome. Love to see it, and I would love to know what you guys would like to see in the line, or like what's your favorite so far. I think mine is Man at Arms. I really, really liked him. He turned out awesome. So let me know all those things. I definitely would love to hear from you guys. You guys have been giving great support on the other videos thus far, so I would love to see what you guys have to say about these ones. But I think that's all I got for today. So as always, let me know, who would you cop? I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.